We good?
We are recording.
Let's go.
Am I in focus?
Are we back? Yeah, you are.
Do we even know how to podcast?
I don't even know if we know how to podcast
I'm not
anymore.
even sure.
How long has it been?
Goodness.
3 months?
It's been a while. Our lives got really busy. We kind of feel bad even coming back, or I do.
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad. It's been way too long. We do have a channel called Scratch Hacks Golf.
Yeah.
So
We'll
follow
plug
that
it.
if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like golf stuff, I mean, I don't know. It's
Absolutely.
Kind of fun. No, I think for me, I like doing podcasts and it's kind of fun, but it probably wasn't a top priority, which is why we're not doing it really. That's why we didn't do it for 3 months or whatever. So I think it's been since August anyway. So
it's probably also. I mean, I still enjoy it.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
I think we both do. But Scratch Hacks, all of a sudden the weather got really nice there in September. Started pushing it. We're like, you know what? We're gonna give this a try. So we've been really busy with that. But as winter comes up, we'll definitely be back in the swing of things.
I
with
think
the podcast.
I think we can say we're back and we'll stay back.
I think we're back. I hope. Now,
That's the
next
title.
spring,
I think
don't
we're
know.
back.
I think.
Cool. No, Brevin has some stuff that he wants to talk about a little bit today, and he wrote up a little something, so we're going to let him talk for a little bit, and yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how confident I am in this. This was shower thoughts this morning.
Oh, there we go.
I was in the shower and I'm like, okay, I have to quick write this. So I quick voice memoed this whole thing in probably 10 minutes, but
So legit shower thoughts.
legit shower thoughts, actually. That's
Cool.
a great title.
Oh, yeah. Legit shower thoughts. That's awesome. Cool. Go ahead.
So I will start, and this is just things I've been thinking about, and kind of like the podcast says, with our perspective. This is not oh, okay, I have all the answers. Let me show you. No, it's more just, I think it's probably a better proposing questions of what about this or what about that.
Yeah,
So
this
these are just some thoughts I had.
is also the first time I'm hearing this, so.
True.
Yeah.
Other than the first part.
Oh, yeah.
Just to give you an idea.
Yeah, I was I kind of want to know a little bit what you're going to say, but
It was probably the most confusing part. But we'll start out with what I had.
yeah.
So and this is probably a quote somewhere, someone famous probably already, whatever, this is out there, but so I'm talking about with stuff you're wanting or stuff you're, what is the word I'm looking for? Not jealous over, but
Envious?
envious, yes. Dealing with having your wants. So at the point, you want something, you receive it, and especially material things, is much harder to deal with than the actual wants themselves. So I go down here and explain a little bit further, but I think that makes sense. Just material things, spiritual things, it can be kind of anything. You want something so bad, for 2 years you've been wanting this one thing, you have it, and 2 weeks later, it kind of wears off, and it's okay, well, it's not that great. So the next thing I kind of written down is, deep down, the only things we want in life boil down to what only God is and can give us. Then I'll just keep going here and let me explain a little bit. The Eden experience for humans, where Adam and Eve were, the Eden experience for humans was a combination of the spiritual and physical realm that we do not have today. In the absence of evil, there is only good, which is God. Any place with only God, there is only place for God's attributes and character, love, joy, peace, really the fruits of the Spirit. Our fullest potential as humans is to fully realize these attributes and characteristics, because that is what we were made for. In this fallen world, the only way to receive these things that we long for is through Jesus.
Amen.
I have a bunch of stuff yet too. I'll probably skip some, but I think that was. I'm kind of in a place. I'll just open up. Why not? I'm like that.
I'm him.
I open up way too much, but I'm just kind of at a place right now. Honestly, is just who am I? What am I doing here? And I really asking the tough questions. Everyone goes through, and probably everyone will at some stage in their life. Probably never quite ends either, but it's what is my soul, what am I longing for? If someone gave me $1 billion tomorrow, am I going to be happy? Well, I'll probably be a little bit happy, but that's not going to satisfy me in the long term. And even job wise and where I live and, you know, what passions to pursue and that type of thing. It's like, what do I actually want to do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the whole Eden thing, that's what we were made for. We were made for that Eden experience. And really the only things that we can, that fully will satisfy is going to the creator of us, creator of the world,
Mm-hmm.
our creator, Jesus. And he can, only he can give what we were really longing for.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit here. A taste of these things can be received now, but the fulfillment is when Jesus returns. So that would be with the gifts of this, like, you know, obviously we have a taste with the Holy Spirit and everything, but the fulfillment of that is when Jesus returns. So this is where I went a little bit on a weird tangent. So if you don't understand basketball, sorry, but I'll try to dumb it down like really easy. So I'll probably read a little bit off here, and I'll probably go off my notes a little bit. But so I said, think of a video game, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what I said, and also adds a new aspect to it. Think of a video game. If I'm creating a basketball player that is great at shooting three-point shots, so that is a certain shot, you know, it's the longest range shot you can shoot. I will make him, out of 100, I'll make him like a 98 ranked out of 100 shooter. Mm-hmm. Like
Which is very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Like he'll be one of the best. He will be able to run, pass, defend, maybe even dunk. He can do everything that other basketball players can do, but he's a 98 at shooting. He's really good. The others, he might be, you know, 70, 65, something like that. But he is best designed to be a three-point shooter. If he sees someone who is great at being quick and running past defenders for layups, he might try to do that as well. So he might see this really quick player, not his same skill set, and he might try to do the same thing. Although he can technically do those things, that is not what he is best suited for. There are people in NBA, which is National Basketball Association. This is weird, I know.
Hear him out.
That literally can only shoot three-point shots. Like, there are people in the NBA, I kind of follow the NBA a little bit. They literally can only shoot threes. Like, without the three-point shot in their arsenal, they would be out of the NBA. They'd be horrible. But that's what they're good at. There are also people who can only defend very well. They're not really good at anything else. They have a much smaller responsibility than the superstars. So these are called role players. They have a specific role, and they are responsible for taking care of that role. So he's a three-point shooter. He's a defender. I'm, you know, whatever. I, you know, pass or, you know, something like that.
I'm excited to see where this is going.
It's not that deep, but it's just thoughts I had. The superstars can do everything well. Now, they have a higher responsibility because they are able to do a lot more things. And on any given night, they can excel in any area. Those are the most under pressure players out of anyone, by far, and carry a tremendous burden for the team. Often, these are the guys that are there before anyone else in the gym and the last to leave. So a lot of these guys, like your Kobe Bryants and LeBron James and all these great basketball players, they had a work ethic that was unmatched. They studied the game like no one else. No one could outwork them. For the most part, there are obvious exceptions in just about anything. Let's see where the most underrated part of any superstar is knowing how to use their team to win, ultimately. They understand the strengths of all their teammates, and although they might be less skilled, so, you know, let's say you're a three-point shooter, but you're not really good at anything else.
Yep.
They understand how to use their team. So I kind of go down in a separate part here. In many ways, this is a little bit how the kingdom of God is. Yes, you have the superstars who are kind of on the front lives of the kingdom work, and they have gifts, and just they seem like any gift, they've got it going for them. In the same kingdom of God, you have those who seem to be very one-dimensional and really only have one or two things to offer. The funny thing is, let's say the superstar has 20 points in a game, but is expected to have 30. And the role player has 20 points and is expected to have 8. The people will be actually really mad at the superstar because he's expected to have 30, and he has 20, and they will be overjoyed with the role player. They will just think it's the greatest thing in the world, even though they scored the same amount of points. So maybe in a championship game, one person has 8 points, and wait, what is this? Never mind about that one. So it's pretty much, do not set expectations for yourself based on the people around you. It's only through God and what he has made you responsible for. As a role player, God sees your obedience and work ethic in the small details, and you continue to get better and better. And your role in the kingdom, if we kind of mix the two here, can expand and might eventually become a superstar one day. Very few superstars are born with it overnight. So kind of a lot to talk about, and shower thoughts are probably a little bit all over the place. But I think that was kind of just something I thought of, like, man, that's really good, because especially at the time in my life right now, it's like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't feel like I have much to give, and well, I can kind of do this, and I don't know what to go. I don't know what to pursue. I kind of feel like a little bit of a failure as far as, like, I don't really know, like, this is what I'm doing. You have some of these, even people younger than me, that they're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. It's like, I don't know. I'm kind of caught in the middle. I have a few options, but it's not based on what people around me are. It's about what God has for you.
Yeah.
And in some seasons, that might just simply be obedience in what he's called you in, right here, right now. Maybe you don't see the big picture, and very often you don't. But I thought it was just a good picture of, you don't need to be this grand superstar. That superstar needs role players around them. Because if everyone was a superstar, they'd probably have too big egos to...
Yeah.
They would actually have too big...
Well, we've seen some of that, yeah.
And if you want to put parallels in the church, you can with that. I don't want to think too far in that. But
yeah.
But you know what I mean. And so I think it's interesting how that correlation, because, like, there are people who become superstars in some things after, work ethic, and in the same way the kingdom. But first you got to be diligent in the small things. So
for sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Asking big questions.
Asking big questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any thoughts?
I don't know. I just wrote down. The only thing I wrote down was, like, I'm learning, which hopefully this will tie in somehow. I'm not sure. The only thing I wrote down was, like, I think I'm learning more and more about what the joy of the Lord is. Something that I have been very intentional of is learning from, I don't know, this is going to sound a little bit, I don't know what you call it. I don't know, call it like prosperity. I don't know how to say it. Basically.
Live your best life now.
No. See, this is what I'm worried about.
No, go for it.
The best way I can describe it is learning, kind of what you said, like learning what is my role in the kingdom. How can I apply myself, even at church here, like how can I either volunteer or, I don't know, like how can I help out in ways that I'm not currently. And like I run sound at church here, and yay! So if it ever sounds bad online,
oh yeah,
it's either me or your sister.
You or my sister.
Yep. So we switch off, but I guess you can come to me. But no, like that's something that like I had no experience in. About a year ago, Uncle Matt had asked me and Michaela to just kind of what I was like, very new to it. I was like, never done sound. He's like, do you have any interest in it? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Why not? And so, I don't know, tying that back in with the joy of the Lord, I'm learning more and more, and this is something I don't share very often, but I think sometimes, me, myself included, I get told a lot, like, don't compare yourself to anybody. Do not, I don't know how to say, pretty much compare, like pretty much don't compare yourself to anybody, because that's where jealousy can get caught up in. That's where a lot of different things can get caught up. But I think it is also, like this is just personally, but like I see characters that I see in other people and I say, hey, I would like to be something like that. Like I really appreciate this part about this person's life. And a big thing I try to work on is attitude. It's a big thing for me. I don't know, it's just, I think people obviously I think we've talked before about even just having like a willing heart. That God can use a willing heart and something like that. And I think for me, something that I'm learning is, and I genuinely think this is not me doing it, but it's something I've asked the Lord for, is like the joy of the Lord. Because I truly love being around people, you included, that literally like are just fun, and someone's right here.
Someone's outside.
Someone's outside.
Anyway.
I thought it was, yeah. Okay. But like truly, like, I think fear the Lord, honor the Lord, and have the joy of the Lord. Like, it's something that I so much want. And I think, well, talking about once, I mean, that is something I have longed for a long time. And I think it's growing. I don't know that I'll ever stop, but I don't know. I'm learning how to literally, which I've talked to you about it, but like sometimes I'm starting to like almost be optimistic to a fault. like where, like I'm like reframe, like something bad happens. I'm like, well, no, that's actually good. Take an example. So I don't know, my shoes. We were over at a friend's house a couple weeks ago.
Can we see that on the camera? There we go.
Can you see that? I don't know. I burned both my shoes, the bottom of, and these are nice shoes, like at least $40. I think they were actually $40, but at Marshall's. But anyway, I burned them on the edge of the grill, and these are like some of my best shoes. I like them, and I was like, well, no, it's actually good because I actually wanted to get new ones.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's awesome.
And so sometimes it's like, okay, like you probably shouldn't be ruining things or whatever.
I think that's great.
But it's something I'm like, like I think having a positive outlook on life and stuff like that is something I love. And I love people like that. And so it is easy for me. I'm not great at it yet. I'm learning, but easy for me to get really down and stressed about stuff. And then I'm learning to be like, okay, I'm really stressed about this, but I'm living a great life right now. Like, I have a lot of things I'm very blessed with. I have great friends, great family. I have a good job. I have all these things but I'm choosing to worry about this. Maybe it's a big thing, but oftentimes small thing. And I don't know, something I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm good at it yet, but it's something I'm learning for sure. I'm like, okay, definitely, and maybe reframing is a good thing, but I think it is for the most part. But I would say more people try to be more optimistic.
Yeah. Well, and maybe, have I said this on the podcast? I don't know. If I did, sorry. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You guys probably forgot, but I used to be, and I still need to work on this, but I used to be so like if I was just sitting here just by myself, I would just look really sad. I'm like, Brevin, stop it. So I actually, for probably a year, I know it looked funny, and you actually might remember, but I would sit here and do that. You remember that? So I used to just have this little smile, but I would actually, this is really a small detail, I actually forced myself. I'm like, I'm going to make a habit of just making sure I'm smiling.
Yeah.
If I'm just resting, whatever, I'm smile. Just a little smile.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect at it, but I want to say to you, I mean, you've actually helped me a lot, and just be in the moment, be present. One of my struggles is I'm very much like think ahead, big picture guy, and sometimes I can lose maybe a little bit of the present, like be present, be here right now, like enjoy the moment.
We are podcasting.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you've been really good for me in that, the positivity aspect. But
Amen.
I actually, and I don't know if it's probably more funny than anything, but the whole smiling thing, but it actually helped. It's crazy. I was actually just thinking, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I was so mad. This is,
oh boy.
Anyway. Yesterday morning, helped David Campbell, shout out to you, David.
Yes.
Helped build a deck for him in the morning. Great morning. His wife made me some food and stuff. It was great.
Shout out, Kat.
Yep. It was good. So I get back home, and I have to put these locks in them. Anyway, long story short, I was so mad I could not figure out these locks. I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure out this one lock. Could not get it to work.
Sorry,
I've put locks in. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, I finally boxed it and whatever, and I was just so frustrated. And then I had a thing with, I had to go run and get my phone, and I just showered, and I was just running around, and I'm like, this is just a horrible day. And then you got to think like, then I just kind of brought myself back to reality. Like, you know what, this has been a great day. I got to help a friend out. Had a blast at his house. Like,
Good food?
It was good food. And here I am. I'm complaining about a few locks I couldn't quite figure out. It wasn't working quite right.
Yep.
Like, it's such a little problem. And one thing I didn't really say out of the notes here, but the whole thing of it's harder to deal with once you have your wants or your material wants or your things you're envious over.
Yeah.
That's almost harder to deal with than the wants themselves. And I think, this is just my opinion, since I haven't traveled a ton to different countries, whatever.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean, you can be on. I mean, more than most.
I've
Yeah,
traveled
I mean,
some,
yeah,
but one thing I've realized is in the U.S., I just feel like, to an extent, and obviously it's a wide variety of people in the U.S. in different situations, but especially the situation where I'm from or where I grew up in, I think America probably has there's some things to deal with that other countries don't, and they have the whole different set of problems. But I think that whole thing of dealing with, in America, we've got running water, you can go get a job, you can go, you can live a pretty good life without trying that hard.
Yeah.
You can. And some countries you just can't.
Yeah.
And so
even then they try hard and they can't still.
Exactly. Yeah. And they would do anything to be in our shoes, yet we're probably more miserable than them.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Maybe not materially, but a little bit more the spiritual aspects of like I said, the characteristics of God. That's what we're longing for. That's what we were made for. The Eden experience, the fullness of what God has for us. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even could be, I'm just saying this could be. But, I mean, going back to Joy of the Lord, like, some of these countries I know for sure have Jesus more than America does, which is...
Probably more into... Yeah, well,
it could be. I don't know. I'm just saying, like...
It's probably more, in my opinion, it's probably more pure than...
Yeah.
Obviously, these are massive generalizations.
Yeah, I was going to say, please, yeah.
But...
Please, yeah, anyway, I don't know. That's good. I mean, that's something, like, you guys don't know Brevin, really. I mean, if you do... Good. You should know Brevin. But something I think, like, Brevin, especially in high school, like we played golf together only one year. Brevin has come a long way. And I think, I've seen growth in Brevin. This is just turning into pumping each other up. But
optimism.
No, optimism. See, I told you.
I'm just putting the camera
I'm reframing.
on you now.
I'm reframing it. What do you mean? So, no, but like I think like Brevin has gone through some. I mean, we all go through struggles, but he's had his fair share of them, and
absolutely.
Amen.
Hey,
who was it that said, "Can it pure joy when you go through many trials?" Paul. Yeah. I was gonna say I thought it was Paul.
I'm just
I was
trying
like,
to be
I don't want to say the wrong name and just like boom.
I'm
no,
just trying
you're
to
canceled.
be more like Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I mean that's definitely something like. I think that's what friends are for. I know he said, "Oh, that's what friends are." That is what I mean. I'm truly blessed with like the friends I have, even cousins, whatever. I have a lot of cousins that I'm really close to. I'm cousins with like everybody, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know. So what
clip it.
I am. Oh man, yeah. No,
man.
But I think if you find a good group of friends that will build you up and not tear you down, boom.
Stay optimized.
I think you say stay crispy.
Stay optimized.
Stay optimized. Oh yeah.
Stay optimal.
No, for sure. And one thing I wanted to say was that is a downside maybe to this is I had it and there it went. My thought just went out the door. Woo. Shoot, I just had it. Talk for a little bit.
What do you got for us?
But something about with optimism, but here's what it is.
There it is.
So I am a very I'm still very competitive. I'd say I'm just very competitive, but I used to get like I couldn't lose pretty much. Like I'd get not very happy, and then I was very pessimistic.
That's a very nice way to put it.
No, I was definitely like I was just like I hated losing, which I feel like a lot of people it's just normal, human nature.
Yep.
But it was to the point where I couldn't have fun, and that is not good. You need to be able to have fun in what you're doing. If you're playing games, whatever you're doing, you need to have fun. And I did not have that for not like terribly long, but it was something that I saw in myself and in some other people that I'm like, man, if that's what I am, I'm not fun to be around, like at all. And I was like, I don't know that's something that I could change really. So I asked the Lord to change it, and I think He is. But one downside I was going to say to being, I would say I'm a pretty carefree person. I'm just roll with the punches, whatever, kind of carefree. But, and I told my sisters this the other day, but I was like, I think one thing I have to watch out for, and they're pretty good at correcting me on, is I think I get sometimes a little too like, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, just making just nothing matters. It's like, oh, it's okay, nothing. Well, it didn't matter. Well, some things, yes, it didn't matter, but other things, it's like I should take that more serious. And not saying I should get mad about losing and all that. I can tend to. I see myself sometimes playing games or whatever, and it's like, oh, not really trying even, because I'm like, oh, it doesn't care, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't care. It's like, oh, I don't care because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that is one downside, maybe. I don't know. Just a thought. Because I've seen myself do that before, where I'm like playing a game or like, oh, it just doesn't matter, so I'm not going to really try. Well, try.
Yeah, try.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've had that. I mean, this is a kind of a silly thing, but someone told me, but like, and I don't know if this can really apply to real life, probably some way, somehow, but
always a way to relate it to real
always.
life. Yeah.
But especially like when the younger youth or even junior youth come help play volleyball, a lot of times it's like, they've never really played, and so you're just kind of like, bouncing it to them real nice and stuff. But okay, like let's say I was decent at volleyball. Like, okay, I'm tall, all right? I'm tall. I'm not actually that good at volleyball. But I am tall. So, so I found myself like I just wouldn't really try because I'm like, well, you don't want to like be whatever. But someone told me, I'm like, well, like what if you were that 15-year-old kid, and they're like, oh, like Brevin's on my team. And then I just kind of like,
I can't wait to see him hit hard.
Yeah, or like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I'm on his team, and then the other team, like, oh, they're on this team. Like, I'm so excited. And then we don't even try.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not a good impression to leave either. So
not really.
I think there's obviously balance to everything. But
yeah, you don't want to just go 150%. But yeah, no, that's a good point.
I was like, man, that's actually really eye-opening. So I don't really know how to relate that to real life necessarily for a lot of people. But there's probably something in that. Hopefully you can get a nugget. But
well, we're back.
We're back. We tried. Shower thoughts were probably a little bit scattered, but
legit shower thoughts.
I think we brought it back.
I think we did.
Full circle. We made a pretty good circle.
Good stuff.
So
yeah, for sure. We were like, I just somehow worked tonight. I think this is what we needed to kind of kick us a little bit and get us back in gear. So
we are busy with the Scratch X stuff. That a little bit of an update. We have, Scratch X is going for it. We're trying to go for it. Yep. Got a few people on board with that. Charles and Myron are helping out with it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So that is taking some time. We had the conference.
We did.
Just kind of going over a few things. Recap. We had some of our Ireland friends.
Oh, yeah.
Honduran friends. Italian friends.
Yeah.
We don't really know them personally that well. I know the Italians a little bit. We were at their house.
The Ireland people are Romanian.
Yep. So we had someone from Sudan. We had
we did. We have a lot of people here.
Yasser Eric,
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't seen his testimony,
absolutely.
Yasser Eric I don't know what it is on YouTube, but
you can probably find it somewhere. I think that was not live streamed, but all of the other messages were live streamed on Oasis channel. So I think that'd be really cool for you guys to check out if you haven't already.
Yeah.
We had a really good weekend there. Pretty much, was it 4 or 5 days in a row? I think four public days. There was another day that we had, but
for sure. Yep.
Met with Landon and met Reese. Few friends from South Carolina or North, somewhere there.
Right on the border.
One of the Carolinas.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
But
very fun stuff. No, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. Great conference. Yeah. You can also, like, I saw Yasser Eric's testimony wasn't live streamed for us, but like it's been live streamed, or it's been recorded, so you can find it. So
very powerful stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you Well, I was gonna say more Scratch X stuff, but I would say very powerful stuff. I'm like, but,
Yeah, I don't know. If you're into golf, Scratch X is
no, we try to have a good time.
Pretty powerful.
Pretty powerful.
No.
No, I just if you want to fall, yeah, we're trying to go for it. No, see, this is what I'm talking about. It seems like I just keep saying the same thing over because I'm like, oh, did I say that or did I not? And then I'm like, and then it sounds like, oh, he really wants you guys to if you like golf.
We were talking about Super Bowl ads. We're like, how much does a Super Bowl ad cost?
Oh, that was crazy.
$7 million for a 30-second ad. Now that's not all of them, but it kind of averages there.
So if any of you all have $7 million and just feel free to donate, I mean,
let us know.
Yeah. No. Scratch Hacks Golf on Instagram.
This is the equivalent of our $7 million advertisement, and is us plugging Scratch Hacks. So
oh yeah, we had thought.
What we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Because we were like, well, what if could you get like a 3-second ad for like $500,000 or something like that? And then you're like,
$7 million.
we have 3 seconds. Follow us on Instagram.
We have 3. Yeah, please help.
Oh, it's fun. So. No, it's a lot of fun for sure. Very blessed. No matter what trials you're going through, stay blessed.
Absolutely. So
cool.
Very good. Well, it was a good time having you here, although you're not here and we're looking at a camera.
Yeah.
Or talking to you over. I think most people listen.
I would assume. I don't think many people watch us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's totally fine. I'm kind of glad about it because I don't know how to switch cameras.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks
for
listening.